KINSEY.
Looks like they're just about ready to wrap up the public safety building. So
Yeah, it should be the front canopy area was the last.
when I came out, drove this morning, there were 2 or 3 of them out there looking and pointing. So
Should be doing the final punch list, I think. But yeah, the canopy was the last thing that got the final products in, and
We just went to Aiden past that.
so we have 2 sets.
morning, Joe.
Oh my.
We have 2 minutes. We have the executive session and the.
Yep. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Call the Board of Public Safety meeting to order. Begin with the minutes of the last meeting, and there are 2 of those in your packet.
Move we approve the minutes of the executive session on April 13th.
Second.
Motion second to approve the minutes from the executive session as presented. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I'll move we accept the minutes of the April 13th Board of Works meeting.
Second.
Motion second to approve the regular session meeting minutes on April 13th as presented. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Say
passes.
April 15th.
13th.
Okay.
If I did, I meant the 13th. Thank you. Any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, moving on. No items under old business, new business, the alley closure discussion. So still trying to get the documented truck schedule from Dollar General. I think that was our next decision or next information to make a decision on that. So once they can deliver that, trying to get that from the manager over there on what that schedule is. It's not as routine as every Tuesdays or
Who's been
Wednesdays.
communicating with him? Is that in your office or?
Yeah.
Were we discussing too that Hortons was going to do a demo?
Correct.
Well, okay.
So some of the thought, and maybe I've changed the opinion on that, is to do a full alley closure for the 2, but I think there's going to have to be, just because of how Dollar General's parking lot is one way, there's going to have access. So I'm not sure that we can coordinate and just do a full alley closure. So now just trying to figure out how can we schedule all of that work. DMT Capital's property also needs a water line, which requires the alley to be cut for that to be installed. So there's just a lot of work that needs to happen in that alley.
That's just a tough.
Yeah. So we're asking the Dollar, not just for Brad's project, but then even going beyond that to make sure we have that documentation.
Well, the Pepsi trucks all park out in the
Street. On occasion, the Dollar General one will too.
Do they?
Yeah. I don't know exactly why,
I don't know.
but anyway.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda then is the Mayor's Youth Council. And I think today they're here to discuss their project that they'd like to pursue, get some of your guys' questions answered or feedback, and then from that, hopefully start moving toward a street closure. So with that, we invite you all to podium.
Can you let us know who you all are?
Absolutely. Good morning. My name is Joanna Gonzalez.
My name is Kylie Bolton.
I'm Kinsey Newmaker.
I'm Olson Ted.
Together we're the Blue Devil Builders from the Mayor's Youth Council. We are here to present a problem that we see in our town. We see a limited public art. We see that crosswalks are often plain and easy to be overlooked. And our proposal is to create an opportunity to improve both safety and just the overall look of our community.
Our goal is to have 2 crosswalks completed by the end of the summer, and it's to involve the community and improve safety and appearance, and also get positive feedback from the community.
Our solution is painted crosswalks with designs. We want community-driven artwork as well as safety, like a safety-focused approach.
We're thinking for locations on Court Road up at the north end, right by Jefferson.
So originally, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally we had East Jefferson on Main, but that is being reconstructed in like 2028. We've been talking to Dylan from the street department, and he had originally said that that one was going to be too busy with the reconstruction, not a very good idea, not possible to close. We also had the Park Road. We wanted to do that inspired by the Tipton High School. We wanted to have a Blue Devil in the name of Tipton, but it's owned by the state now, so we no longer can do that one. Our project is ongoing, so there is a possibility, like we mentioned, we want to have 2 crosswalks, but at the moment we only have feedback and advice for 1 at the moment. But we're looking for another one. Our designs, if possible, I'll turn this around and show you. It is possible, like pebbles on the crosswalks. Originally, we thought we were going to go through a square, but I think it would be fun if we have the pebbles or maybe just a fish. Instead of the pebbles, we would have a fish. Since we want it to look good walking this way and back. And by the port, it's very visible, and there's a lot of cars that drive through. With the farmers market, there's a lot of people that walk through. So this is possibly one of our designs. We don't have the second location or the second design now, but we might tie our second location to this, make it like a little scavenger hunt where people can go with their kids to look for the other crosswalks that will tie this whole project together.
So for our closing timeline, we have day 1 would be to pressure wash and clean the area, and then day 2 would be painting, and then day 3 would be continuing painting and sealing it, and then we would reopen it for cars and heavy traffic the next day. Our timeline is simple and efficient, and it would only be closed for the weekend, which was given to us by Dylan.
We were looking at $7,000 total. We're seeking local businesses support actively, and we filled out the foundation grant, and we're maybe gonna look at a couple grants from, I think Cortef, a few other places. That's for the paint, the seal, the power washing, hiring the artists, so.
Why it matters, it'll improve the visibility of the crosswalks, it builds community pride, encourages involvement, and enhances the town identity.
So some of the community support that we've received is obviously the mayor has supported us and guided us through a lot of the things that we need. We're looking to, like I said, we mentioned talking to Dylan from the street department. He's been a very amazing help as well. We plan to involve like local businesses for supplies, like Heritage Painting and printing. We are wanting to talk to the city police department for safety as our painter designs and plans crosswalk closures. And we want to talk to the city art committee to talk about a painter and the paint that we need and different stuff like that.
And then for our safety plan, we want on-slip road-approved paint, and we want to follow all regulations of the streets and police support for safety, and we want to have approved locations on.
That's it. We are currently just wanting to talk to you guys to get approval for that. Have any questions, any advice that you want to give us? Do you have any questions?
Have you talked to the art commission about any help or any suggestions on
That would be their next step, I
Yeah,
think,
that would
after
be the
today
next
is.
step.
after today?
Yep.
It's the 7,000 for one or two crosswalks.
That was two.
Two.
So it'd be like 3,500
Mhm.
for.
And this project doesn't have anything to do with the library.
No,
They're doing their own.
correct?
So second location could be the other end of Court Street or. it's technically-
Well, I think that's what part of this, correct? You'll do the north crosswalk and the south one,
Yes, hopefully.
Cool.
but I think they'd like to see a second intersection.
North Main and Washington.
That'd be a,
We control it. I mean, I know it's pretty high traffic with Encompass, but
mhm.
maybe they'd sponsor.
I'm sure, I mean, you already know that Court Street's heavily trafficked. That's a lot of traffic, so closing it for even the weekend, I think, might cause some issues. I mean,
Correct.
But you're only closing the section of the crosswalk, right? So
Correct.
technically you can kind of,
Look around.
Yeah.
get there through the other side of the parking lot.
you'd have to come from Independence,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still access. So
Mhm.
you've put a lot of work in. So,
So for today, I think what they're requiring is a conceptual agreement that we as the Board of Works approve Court Street as a location, and then granted they receive that permission today, they'll continue to work with Dylan on honing in when do they need to
Mhm.
close, and then submitting that paperwork through Dylan's office
uh,
for final approval.
the final approval of the design,
Mhm.
I think that needs to come back to here.
Okay.
Just to avoid any, get you off the hook. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll make a motion then to approve the Court Street locations as approved by the Board of Works.
Second.
The motion and a second to approve the locations of Court Street and offer you the ability to continue on your work. All
Thank you,
those in
guys.
favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Good job.
Motion passed.
Thank you so much.
Next item under new business, 830 Mill Street, property cleanup dispute from April 2025.
I don't have a problem with the city in the cleanup on the $40. I went to pay my property taxes in November and there was a fee of $595. And it states here what the charges were for. I've got pictures of my property where they picked up a recliner and said on their papers that I never received a registered letter stating anything about these charges. I've got pictures of my neighbors where he moved out in March and basically his whole house was in the alley. And my argument is, I got charged by almost $600 to pick up a recliner. And you can see in these pictures, I don't know what the neighbors paid, but if it's $40 a dump truck load, I think there should be an adjustment. I'm gonna have a lien on my property because of this. I'm not too happy with how the city goes about penalizing. I think they should change that, maybe put $40 on a utility bill, but the homeowner is not aware that they picked it up. I was unaware of any of this until I went up in November, and this happened in June, I do believe. And then my other questions were on the charges. It says here it took 3 laborers to pick up a recliner and put it in the back of the dump truck. In September, when I had issues, I basically cleaned out my house and paid $40 for a dump truck load. So my issue is why am I being charged $595 for one recliner? I mean, you can look at the pictures if you want to and see the mess that the neighbors have had Now it's cleaned up. I don't care what their charges was, I just think it's outrageous that I'm getting charged $600 for a pickup on a recliner. And when I have to pay the taxes, interest, and fines on top of that, $595. There's something to be done about this. I don't have a problem paying the $40. I didn't receive a notice of register letter, although they have a copy of it. And I can take you through any alley in this town and down Jefferson Street and show you a lot more places that have more than one recliner that still isn't cleaned up. And I'm just wondering how all this is right, where I have to pay $600 to have one recliner cleaned up. When all over this town, there's trash in alleys on properties. Mind you that we had a sewer problem right on the alley line on my property, a couple inches that I paid $3,600 to have fixed. Where does my property start? I mean, if that recliner was out there and it's on my property, you know.
Yeah, so based on the time of this 2025, our code enforcement office operated on a complaint basis. So what likely occurred is somebody reported the recliner, and the process, as you've identified, you did not receive the certified mailing, but the next process is to notify you of the issue. That in a perfect world, you would take care of the recliner by paying that $40 from the street department.
And I have done that before.
Correct. Trusting that what you told us here. So what then didn't happen from the code enforcement is receiving any communication from you. They then assumed that you weren't going to clean it up. What that does is, from a city ordinance perspective, it kicks in some new processes, which is where we send out the street department to pick up the items. And because of that, that's where the other items are billable from a time and equipment perspective. So I think the challenge.
Equipment, and it's the same manpower to pick it up for $40.
Correct. What it does is reward individuals who proactively, they get notice and go, all right, yes, I'll take care of that. So it rewards individuals for taking care of it proactively, versus if we had to clean it up, it's almost a penalty because now we've got to send out our crews to clean it up for you rather than with you. So what didn't happen is, based on this, we see the return to sender on the certified mailing. So it might be a discussion point for us to figure out what we've never had, at least not in the 2 years, had a return to sender on the certified mailing and picked it up. So what I need to do is do some research to figure out what opportunities exist now to remedy this situation. Unless the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess my first question would be, and you stated multiple times that you're willing to pay the $40. I guess I would question why that wasn't done when this was set out. When this was put in the alley, what were you thinking? I mean, were you thinking that it's just going to sit there, or are you going to have somebody pick it up?
Of course not.
So then why did it, I guess my question would be, why did it sit there so long?
Probably because it did, because I didn't call.
Well, that's, yeah.
And I understand that. It slipped my mind. I don't even hardly use the back.
Mhm.
But I don't agree with it. I worked my ass off to try to keep my property since 2017 when I moved back to Tiffin. And I think this is just ridiculous when you can go up and down.
Well, that,
And, you know, I don't understand. I'm trying to do better on my property and I've got pictures from when our neighbors moved out in March, or one of them did. And it is it's on both sides of the alley, 3 different neighbors. Over one recliner.
well, this picture's a lot more than one recliner.
On my property, it shows it's circled one recliner. Now, the next door property, 826, it was a whole house full. And the next door neighbor next to that, it's within the alley, but it's still, you go down the alley and it's still an eyesight that you wouldn't want to look at. And that's just on 800 Block and Mill Street. You want to clean up the city and you go down Connie Street and there's tarps all over the front porch of somebody's house. I just don't get it. And that's my complaint. If I have to pay $5.95, I'll do it, but I'm not happy about the situation. And the $200 administration fee, what does it take $200 to send a registered letter?
So it wasn't just that. We started this because of issues that you're identifying where people would put stuff in the alley and they were like, you know what, it's just cheaper for me to wait for the city to do it for me because they're only gonna charge me $40 anyway. So what we did was, in accordance with state law, didn't make it too exorbitant, but we had to identify what does it really cost in terms of not just certified letters, but you have 3 departments involved, their administrations are involved, because we got to the point where people were just not cleaning it up. And I think some of these properties you're identifying are probably on the radar. We've brought city code, when this was done, this was actually done when city and county were joined. So it would go through their process and then finally get its way to the city. We now have our own planning department where they're trying to be more proactive. And I guarantee you some of these you've identified are being fined probably. What we didn't want to do necessarily is penalize people just for a small delay. But if you follow the timeline, it seems like, and this return to letter sender is concerning that they went forward with that.
Mhm, yeah.
But they said on March 31st, 25, they said, hey, clean it up in 7 days. 7 days passed and they said, fine, we'll just do it and bill you. And the minimums we had to set where we wouldn't pay a worker 30 minutes or 32 minutes. It was a 1 hour minimum. So I agree it's small, but it's a 1 hour minimum. So that's where the charges come from. The return of the letter
Yeah,
is concerning.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure we fulfilled the due diligence, or due diligence was fulfilled to give you proper notice to say, okay, I forgot about it, I'm sorry, I'll pay the 30, it's actually $35, and be done with it. So I think that has to be considered. And I would
And
agree.
in September, when I did a clean out, I didn't have a problem going over to Carolyn
Right.
Mhm.
and paying $40.
Right.
And I remember years ago, the city of Tipton used to do, and I don't know why, they used to have a citywide cleanup where the citizens could take their, and that's done away with. But I think the $600 is a little bit steep. I understand that you guys are in your positions, but I'm also in a position where I'm hanging on by a thread.
Will allow us to convene now that you've brought this to our attention so that we can discuss what an appropriate next step would be. Because like we've acknowledged there's some challenges in the process that you've experienced that maybe make it difficult to levy that total fee to you. So let us discuss that and we'll circle back with you on what that looks like moving forward. But
May I ask, did you pay this or did you just pay your property tax and then left?
I
this?
told them I wanted my amount applied to my property taxes.
Got it, okay.
It's
Yep.
over.
Yep, understood.
Nothing was charged me down there.
Yeah, understood.
So,
okay, we'll be in touch soon. Thank you.
thank you.
With that, moving to department business, the 2 items from my report. Just want to acknowledge again the Mayor and Youth Council for coming today. The 3 construction projects, East Street and the project associated with that stormwater project. They should be heading toward final asphalt here in the next 2 weeks. So with that project, we also have some additional work across the city of Tipton, road related. So they're going to remain in town until all of that work is completed. And I believe, based on their estimates, all that work should be weather dependent, satisfied in the next 30 days. Baseball project is moving forward, as you all likely know. So right now what they're doing is getting the major utilities installed. Water has been connected, sanitary has been connected.
I'm sorry, do you need that signed? Do you need something signed to verify that you came up? They just trust you?
It's not Mr. Morgan's client.
Oh, well, but still, okay,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't, I'm sorry.
Stormwater is the next major utility to get connected. And then once that's completed, they'll begin putting in the helical piers for the dugouts and the concession restroom area. And then after that, they'll start bringing in the turf, and that's sod, grass turf, not synthetic turf. Contractors start building the actual fields themselves. So what you see right now is soils that have been cut probably 5 inches deep, and that's because the infills for those infield mixes will be 5 inches deep. Last one is the public safety building. So work has now started near completion on the front of that building. We should be working with Hearn and Etika to determine what the punch list items are, getting that satisfied, and then working toward successful closeout of that project. Any questions for me?
I assume Medica's gonna help with the punch bowl since they're the architect.
On the baseball field, the fencing, will those fields be completely enclosed so that there's just one gate? I'm just curious.
Gated from the community, you mean?
Yes.
No, they'll exist similarly to how they existed before.
So if they have a tournament, I guess, how do they control? I'm just curious if they have an event where they want to charge, because I'll just be honest with you, I don't think the school charges on some events that they should too. So I just curious on
You mean admission fees?
admission fees. If they want to have an event, they have to, I'm just,
I would say it didn't come up as a major priority for the project to have it enclosed for tournaments.
I'm just, okay.
Next up, fire department, Chief Bittner.
Morning.
Good morning.
Any questions over the monthly run numbers? All right, engine 10 is back and in service, fully operational. I've not had any issues with it since we got back. They recently, I believe last couple Fridays ago, closed out the park pavilion, got it cleaned out, getting ready for the season. The fire officer strategy and tactics class is in full swing. They've been going for a little over a week now. I believe we have 3, if not maybe 4 members in it, I believe. Attended the team leadership meeting, the dispatcher's proclamation, and safety fair at the fairgrounds. We are fully staffed at this time. 2 new hires have started. They seem to be fitting in well, learning. They have all their required certifications that they need, so it's not like we have to spend a lot of time training them. They just have to get acclimated to our trucks, the way we do things. We'll be on their ways. Training certifications, I forgot to put this on there. We did have 3 guys last week go down to Indianapolis for a 2-day class at ESEC, Emergency Services. I can't remember exactly what all stands for, but they did a pipeman principles class where they worked on hose advancements through live burn scenarios. For first day was classroom and a little bit of practicals at the end of the day, the first day, and then the second day was all hands-on firefighting work. So they had a great time and said that would recommend it to anyone to go. Grants, Firehouse Subs, I believe it was July. I talked to Colin, one of the things is cancer prevention. We've talked for years, haven't been able to get funding for a second set of turnout gear for each firefighter so that after a fire, when their frontline set is being washed and decontaminated, they've got a worthy set to where until all that's done, We have one washer and one dryer for gear. It takes 2 loads per set of gear to get washed. You have to do your outers in one round, your inners in the other. So it takes a while to get the entire department's gear washed, about 3 days. So it would be nice if they had a set of gear that wasn't taken out of service for a reason, being too old or damaged, that they could rely on. I got him the numbers for what it would cost to get everybody into those. Public programs and events, we did attend the safety fair at the fairgrounds. I believe that was the 18th. And mentioned at last month's Board of Works meeting about Lieutenant Crane got the work performance evaluation SOG going. Want to make sure everything was kosher with through the city and getting that implemented. And that is all I have.
Any questions for Chief Bender?
No, thank you, sir.
Thanks. Last on the agenda, police department, and to provide some information to Board of Works. There are interviews scheduled for this week on candidates for the position. Like every role that I've hired, this will be conducted by a panel of individuals for that position. And another information notice for the Board of Works is that Brandon Leisure is the ranking member of the department. So from a facilitation perspective, he's handling some of those activities here in this interim period. There's nothing else except the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
So